There's an idea from psychology that being moral isn't very valuable unless you have the capacity to be immoral. Or being good isn't very valuable unless you have the capacity to be evil. For example, a lot of guys like to think they are nice guys. But that's not really an objective label. They're not being nice because that's a choice. They're being nice because that's their only option. And oftentimes, nice behavior is really a reframe for weak behavior. Because these guys, whenever they have an opportunity, they morph into assholes. The nice guy will approach a woman, give her a compliment. But it's not a genuine compliment. He's not being nice because he likes to be nice. He's being nice because he hopes he'll get something in return. But then when he doesn't get that in return, the thing he thinks he's entitled to, he morphs into an asshole and gets angry at her. So that's an example of being nice is not really valuable unless you have the capacity to be not nice and you choose to be nice. There's a corollary that a woman's loyalty isn't valuable unless she has the capacity to be disloyal. For example, you get into a relationship with an attractive woman, and in the beginning, she seems very loyal. But how do you know she's being loyal because that's what she's choosing to do? Or she's being loyal because that's her only option? At that time, you are her best option. And if she finds a better option later on, she'll leave and you'll be heartbroken. This is this tragic story of a lot of relationships. A guy gets into a relationship with a very loyal woman, a woman he thinks is loyal. He thinks he's found a woman that has loyalty as her personality traits. So he relaxes. He slips into set and forget mode. But from her perspective, the relationship starts to lose its value. She's no longer seeing him as her best option, so her eyes start to wander. How do you keep this from happening? Well, one way to help understand is to understand the concept in economics called opportunity costs. Whenever we choose something, we're also choosing to not get everything else we could be getting. For example, you go into a restaurant. As soon as you choose one thing on the menu, you're also choosing to not get everything else. All the things you can't get are the opportunity costs. That's why ordering from a menu when you're hungry is oftentimes very, very difficult. I want this. This looks good, but if I get this, I can't get this. This looks really good too, but if I get this, I can't get this. What do I do? Similarly, when you're in a monogamous relationship, a committed relationship, you're in a relationship with one person, but this means you can't be in a relationship with everybody else on earth. And everybody else on earth represents the opportunity cost of that relationship. And so you start the relationship, and the relationship has a very, very high value in her eyes. And all the opportunity costs don't seem very valuable by comparison. So this makes it seem like she's being loyal. But suppose the relationship loses its value because you slip into autopilot mode. You slip into set and forget mode. Pretty soon, the opportunity costs start to seem more valuable than the relationship, and suddenly this loyal woman isn't so loyal anymore. So how do you keep this from happening? How do you maintain the value of the relationship so you are always her best option no matter what? Well, one thing that can help is the idea from influence, the law of commitment and consistency. This law says that the more we do something, the more we're likely to do that same thing. Particularly if we put an investment in that thing. The more we invest in something, the more we do something, the more we commit to that thing, the more likely we'll do that thing. A fantastic example is from doomsday cults. Somebody joins a doomsday cult. They believe the world is ending next Tuesday or whatever. They tell their friends, they tell their family, they quit their jobs, they sell all their stuff. They're making a massive commitment to this doomsday cult by proclaiming that the world is going to end next Tuesday. But then the next Tuesday comes and the world doesn't end. Now, you would think by logic that they would look like an idiot and they would feel stupid and they would leave this stupid cult that lied to them. They would try to get their stuff back. They would try to get their job back. They would be embarrassed when they went around their friends and their family. But that's not what happens. What happens is because they made such a public commitment to this cult, they double down on their commitment to this cult. They double down on their affinity and affection for this cult. And this is much more powerful than any kind of logic. The commitment, the connection created by commitment and consistency becomes much more powerful than logic. So what can you do to maintain the value of your relationship so high that she has a cult-like attraction to the relationship by using commitment and consistency? Well, the first step is to have overt conversations that elicit some kind of investment in the relationship. Invest in the relationship by talking about your shared goals. Invest in the relationship overtly and consciously by talking about your respective boundaries. Make sure you understand each other's boundaries. Talk about these things. Tell her you want to invest in the relationship. Have conversations where you're both going through the process of actively committing to and investing in the relationship. Talk about her goals. Talk about your goals. Make sure you understand and respect each other's boundaries. Do something once a week to purposely and deliberately maintain the health of the relationship. That will trigger the law of commitment and consistency and will make the relationship always be more valuable than any opportunity cost. But there's also some other things you can do. You can do things for her so she will start to believe that she can't get these things anywhere else. For example, you can elicit her mental desire map every couple of weeks. Use the either-or process, build out her desire map about her ideal future. Do this every couple of weeks, and she will start to subconsciously associate her ideal future with you, which will strengthen the relationship and make the relationship much more valuable than all the opportunity cost. You can also frequently and periodically tell her hypnotic love stories every couple of weeks. This will also make the relationship much more valuable than any opportunity cost. You can also elicit her sexual desire mental map using the either-or process while you're giving her an orgasm. This is something that she knows she won't be able to get anywhere else. And that will make her addicted to you and addicted to the relationship. Another thing you can do is elicit her ego map of why she thinks a relationship with you is the best choice. And if you do this early on when you're having that discussion of whether we should be monogamous or not, this is a fantastic time to elicit her ego map using the either-or process, to pre-frame her belief that the relationship is the best thing for her and get her to give you reasons why that's true. That will significantly increase her commitment to the relationship. If you do all of these things, and you do them regularly to maintain the relationship, she will always see you as the best option. The opportunity cost will always pale in comparison. But the biggest takeaway is to not slip into set and forget mode. See a relationship with a high-quality woman as a very, very valuable thing. It takes time to create, and it takes time and effort to maintain. So long as you and her put in the effort to maintain the relationship, you will create the feeling of loyalty that will last a lifetime. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you'd like to learn more, please check out the links below, and I'll see you next time.